and welcome back to the 5th day of the Mustang series. So I think I finished off on day 4 on my last video. So just about to go into Ember's pen and do a session. The weather today has been absolutely horrendous, and we've just got a little break in the rain, so I'm gonna get in there and see what I can do. At the moment I do want to work with him every single day because I'm just trying to build a little bit of a routine and familiarity for him. I may change that approach once kind of we're halter trained. I may give him a couple of days off from training. I'm not sure yet. We're gonna see how it goes. My goals for today, I'm just looking at him over there. Goals for today, I want to just see a bit more curiosity from him. So yesterday I did really push his boundaries. I was moving to other parts of his body with the whip, and I really did push him out of his comfort zone. So I just want to go in there first, establish the trust again, and just get him in the curious mindset. And then I'm going to decide when I'm in there. I'm either going to go for another hand touch, or if I can see that's not happening, I'm just going to look for some more relaxation with touching him on other areas of his body. So I'm just going to see how he is when we get in there. So we came in today and he was a little snortier than I would have hoped, but I do think it's been pretty bad weather. But we have got to a point within like 5 minutes where he is happy for the whip to be on his shoulder. So there we go. Good boy, Mr. Ember. There we go. And so I'm just kind of doing a nice rhythmical kind of stroke down his shoulder and just looking for some signs of relaxation. Good boy. Also just looking out for any sign that he might kind of turn on me. But he's looking pretty happy. There we go. Go a bit higher up the neck. And sniffs and back off. Good boy. The comfort area, so he's playing with it. He knows it's safe. Good boy. I also think he has sore teeth. Hello, can you go away because you're in my camera view? Because he's chewing on this. Good boy. And then we go to shoulder scratchies. Good boy. Horse next door just knocked the camera off. Yeah, so go back to your same space. Good boy. He's just holding a little bit of tension in the nostril right now, but... Ember. Good boy. We've done the shoulder touch. Good boy. There we go. And nothing bad's happening. Good. Nice. So today was the first session that I decided to introduce positive reinforcement. So I'm just trying to show him here that I have got hay and like the reward is worth his time. So that's why I just gave it to him straight away there. And then the idea is if he gives me both eyes or touches my hand or kind of makes a gesture to come towards me, then he gets the food reward. You will see later on in this video, I change up from hand feeding him to dropping the food on the ground because I was a little worried that it might then lead to aggression down the line as he'd like expect food from my hand. So I then give it to him on the floor. But for this session, I was just hand feeding. I have used positive reinforcement before for trick training, but never for something like this. But he was just quite heavily traumatized. I'm not too sure what his past is, but I do know he was in a home before me that didn't work out. And he just had a fear like I'd never seen before of humans. And so I figured positive reinforcement might be a much more effective way to gain his trust, which it has proven to be. Okay, that was amazing. That's exactly what I need. We might not go to Halter today because I don't want to like sabotage that.
Well, and that was all recorded too.
Mr. Ember, touch. He also is. Do you see him looking at me with both eyes? Obviously, they don't see the way humans see. So he's kind of seeing me from that other eye for the first time right now. Good boy, we're getting proper touches now. Hey, let's do some more then. This is actually like the most progress we've had as a twosome, because I was starting to think he just didn't like me as a person, which was quite sad. Remember, I want you to touch the halter. If you touch the halter, you get the hay. Good boy. Halter for hay. Good boy. Good boy. You want the hay? Says, I'm not sure. Good boy. Very good. Really good. We don't swing bums. It's rude. Touch halter. Good boy. Good boy. Touch. Good. I know. You're fine. Touch. Good boy. Hey. Touch. Good boy. Good. You give such...
So after a really good session yesterday, I went in way too gung-ho into the session the next day, and you'll see what's about to happen here is honestly entirely my fault. You'll see he lunges at me. I jump back and honestly see my life flash before my eyes. The whole thing really was my fault, and I say this because usually before I start working with him, I do a little bit of warm-up, usually for 10-15 minutes, where I'm on the other side of the fence doing some exercises with him, or I stay at a distance and do some exercises with him, which I know I haven't shown in this video, but it gives him time to kind of adjust to me being with him and just rebuild his confidence from the day before. But because things had gone so well the day before, I just felt so confident with him and just kind of barged in, forgetting that this was only day 7 of having him, and he is a Wild Mustang, and in the action he did, he really did show me, hey, like, I'm not a domesticated horse and I'm not comfortable with you yet. So he did put me in my place, and kind of, I'm glad it happened because it reminded me of like what I'm working with. He's not just a normal horse, and I do need to be more patient with him. So I think it was a good lesson learned, and I spent the rest of the session just moving him around the pen and just doing some touches from a distance. But you can see for the rest of this session, I'm quite spooked, and so I don't think I'm giving him my best work, and he's also kind of quite spooked by the first interaction. So not our best session today, but I wanted to show it because I just want to be realistic with sort of how this training process goes.
Good boy. Ember touch. Ember touch. Good.
So after a rocky session the previous day, I started today on the other side of the fence, and I just wanted to get some basic head touches, and then you'll see I then throw his food reward onto the ground. So kind of training him here with positive reinforcement and starting the day on a better note. I thought, let's keep the fence between us to give us both a bit more confidence, and then we'll build on that as the session goes on.
Good boy. Ember touch. Ember touch. Good. Boy. Really good boy, Ember. Ember touch. Really good. Good boy, my boy. Ember touch. Ember touch. Touch. Good.
As the session progresses, I ask him to touch my hand for longer, so I won't give him the reward unless he kind of holds his nose there for a few seconds. And then I also increase the intensity of the session by touching different areas of his face before he gets the food reward.
We can't stand around eating alfalfa all day. Ember touch. Good boy. Ember touch. Really good. Oh. Your time. Your time. Yeah, that's great. Good boy. Ember touch. Good. Ember touch. Ember touch. Ember touch. Good boy. Ember touch. Good. At the end of week 2 with Ember, I feel like this week we've probably made the most amount of progress just doing this positive reinforcement training, or people call it like R+ training. We tried negative reinforcement, it wasn't working. I'm not sure what's happened with him, but I think he was a bit too traumatized. So each session we start with the fence between us, and then I just go Ember touch, good boy. And then if he touches the target, which is my hand, then he gets the reward. We've been doing this for 5 days now, but every session I start as if we'd never done it. So we start from the very beginning again, because he just needs like 5 minutes to like warm up, and then we kind of speed back to where we were the day before and then build on it. So that's how we've been doing everything. So I'll just show you one more example. When we first started this, all I would ask is that he just touch my hand, even if it's for half a second. But now, as the session progresses, I'll ask him to touch my hand with the side of his face, or let me like be near his neck, and then he gets the reward. So you ask for a bit more each time. Good boy. Ember touch. Good boy. Ember touch. There. As I've been working with him, I was doing everything with this hand, and then I noticed as I switched to this hand, it was like he had never done any of the exercises. So my advice for anyone doing this that's new, because I definitely wasn't expecting it, is just because they're happy with you touching them with one hand doesn't necessarily mean they'll be okay with the other. So you kind of have to train both hands, as it were, as well as like both sides of their faces. We have done a little bit with this here, so his right side, but he's much more uncomfortable on this side, which is very common for most horses. So we're kind of focusing on progression on this side, and doing a little less on that side, and I'll slowly build it up, because at the minute I'm just trying to build trust. I'm not focusing too much on him being perfectly even. So you'll see I'm now going to switch this hand, Ember touch. So there you'll see what I mean. So usually when we start again, I put this hand out, which he just doesn't like as much, and he flattened his ears. So with that, it's like he doesn't get the reward. I know he still touched my hand, but it wasn't in a good way, so I push him out of my space. And then usually I'll then go to the stick, and you'll see as the session progresses that won't happen, but he always needs his 5 minutes. So we do Ember touch. Good boy. The stick is where he feels most comfortable, so the ears back I thought was aggression, but the more I've looked into it, apparently it's just like severe anxiety like coming out as aggression. So we go back to something he's much more confident with, which is a stick, Ember touch, just to kind of build his ego a little bit again. Good boy. There we go. And give him a little rub here. And then before I ask for that hand again, because he did show signs of kind of coming at me, I'm now going to move him around. Just one, so he can see like he's not frozen to the spot. If he doesn't want to touch my hand, he doesn't have to. And two, moving his feet around does kind of show him I'm in the leadership position and he can't just kind of pin his ears at me. So we're gonna, good boy, walk on. And I need to get better at this, but you want to make sure you're always walking into their space and not backing off of them. I do still back off sometimes because he does catch me off guard, and it's a little intimidating, but just you want to make sure you're always moving your go on, always moving your feet into their space. Go on, good boy. Good. You don't like it up there today for some reason. So now we've moved his feet, I'm just going to ask him to back up a little bit. Good boy. Back. And then when he gives me my back steps, I stop. Good boy. Ember touch. Good boy. He's really focused on the camera right now, but that's good. Can't always have perfect conditions. Ember touch. Good. And see there, I didn't really get much of a touch. He touched my finger, but because his ears were forward and he took a step towards me, I'm going to reward that. Like I said, every session we kind of start as if we'd never done it before, and you just build and can then step in again. Ember touch. Good boy. And again, I'm saying all this not because I'm a professional, but just from my experience of having never done this before and playing around with trial and error. I'm not claiming that I know how to do this in the most effective way. This is just what I've been doing, and I've found that it's worked. It's working for us. It might be working slowly, but it is working, and he is building a lot more trust. Right, so now we've done like 3 touches where he's had his ears forward. I'm now going to ask for more. So yesterday I was stroking the side of his face and his neck. So we're now going to start, like, I'll only reward him if I can touch the side of his face. We'll do that 3 times, and then I'll move down to the neck. He only gets the reward if I touch the neck. So good boy. Okay, darling. Ember touch. Good. Very good. Ember touch. There we go. I got side of the face. I know for only a second. Good. And now I want side of face. Good boy. I want side of face if you want the alfalfa. Good boy. Very good. Good boy. Ember touch. Good. Good boy. Very good. And you can see he's still not totally comfortable with it. Like he kind of braces and looks away, but obviously like there are times where you need to recognize that and step away, but at the moment I'm not seeing enough stress signals to back off, because obviously you have to push them a bit out of the comfort zone to get anywhere. But if he accompanied like the leaning away with like an ear back or a snort or a wrinkle, I would take that as my cue to step back or get bitten. Touch. Good. Good boy, Ember. Right, I'm just going to take a step back there, because not only did he look away, but he was starting to kind of flick his ear back to say he wasn't comfortable. So just give him a minute to chill, and then I'll go again. Ember, touch. Good boy. Very good. And just that time, again, this whole thing is about reading their body language. He was not giving me the sign that it would be a good idea to move down to the neck. And with them, I've noticed that if you misread like one body signal, they can very quickly turn. And so you just need to constantly have your eyes on what the ears are doing, what the eyes are doing, and what the nose is doing, else you can end up in a little bit of trouble. You move to some neck rubs, and he's got really good at throwing the rope over, which is amazing. So even though we don't have the halter on right now, there's just so much else we can be doing at liberty that I'd have to do when the halter was on anyway. So you'll see here now with the tassel, I'm going to bring this down through his ears, because this is going to give him the sensation of like places that the halter is going to go. So like playing around with the ear is great, because obviously the halter is going to go round the back of the ear, and I don't want these to be like new sensations. I want them to be really familiar to him. Good boy. So stroking under the beard. And again, we didn't get this overnight. We've been plugging away at this all week. This isn't the first time we're doing it, and he's suddenly okay. Good boy. We're just gonna move around a bit, stroke the back. Good. We've been doing some rope desensitization. Good boy, Ember, touch. Good boy. So I just like shake it. I've been playing with the clip, so all the sounds are going to be familiar to him. Ember, touch. I let him touch it so that again the texture is familiar for him, because obviously all this is quite foreign. Now I'm able to touch the side of his face and his neck. I now want to be able to, so I've been doing this at a distance, like just throwing this at him, but I now want to be able to like pop it over his neck with my hand, because that will be then the next step of like the sensation of me passing something over his ears at a much closer proximity. So this will be the first time I've done this. So we're going to start with, I'm just going to use the rope and rub on the side of his face and his neck, so obviously you won't pass it over him straight away. Boy, Ember, touch. Boy. Very good. Here you go. So we're just going to do that a few times. Every time he exhibits a behaviour that I like, a good thing happens, so he gets his food. So negative reinforcement would be if we just did that and I took the rope away, so that's removing the pressure. But I noticed with him, he just wasn't having a good response to that. I don't know what was going on in his head, but he personally works best if he knows something good is coming after he's done what he's needed, rather than just removing it. I loved that reaction because he was very up close and personal, which is how it will be when the halter goes on. It's not going to be me doing it from over here, so he needs to be okay. So now, because we've had two nice ones, can you feel that? I'm now going to pass this over his neck. Good boy. Ember, touch. Very good. Good boy. Now I'm going to stay with him here. Good. Good boy. And then I'm going to slip the rope. motion first. Good boy. Really good. I need to stop calling you the wrong name. I'm really sorry. So I really liked that reaction there. Like, he moved a little bit, but he wasn't like totally freaked out about it. So this is great. I've now got the rope around him, which is amazing, but I'm not going to ask him yet to yield to any pressure. I'm just going to keep repeating this exercise of getting the rope over him. He's okay, baby. And see, like, when you let it go, it's swinging and he needs to be okay with all of that. Ember, touch. Ember, touch. Good. And then I'm going to pull it all the way off. Because things that are probably going to happen when you first halter them, it's probably not going to go on the first time. It might slip off. The piece that goes over the ears might swing down. So he needs to be very okay with things swinging around and me reaching underneath his neck to kind of get stuff. So that's why neck roping them, or whatever this is called, I feel like it has a name, I forgot what it is. Like, I think it is neck roping, is a really good start to the haltering. Ember, touch. Good. Good boy. Very good. Oh. Oh. Okay, good. Treat, trying. So once he's had his reward, I'm then gonna do the same thing again. Reach under him, pull the rope, kind of seesaw a little bit. Good boy. And the touch. Okay. It's okay, baby. And I'm personally being very careful not to put any pressure, because I'm not trying to teach him about pressure and release right now. I'm just wanting him to be okay with me reaching underneath him. So I'm just, if he moves, I'm going with the movement. I'm not trying to